I want to start by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Yahweh being the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father, Bahasham meaning in the name. Yahweh Shai being the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus. And Rachakodash being the Holy Spirit that speaks to us so that we could divide this word correctly and directly we can understand the words that the Lord is giving to us through the scriptures. Also, to give double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone and say shalom to the whole elect that they're pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, striving their best to do us right in the eyes of the Lord. But this is going to be another lesson, kind of laying backing off of the last couple lessons that I did concerning the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And in the previous two, I was talking about different accounts that spoke about what Elijah had did through the Spirit of the Lord. And I'm going to grab another one concerning that. Concerning the Lord working through Elijah. And whatever precepts come after that, I'll grab them. But this is 2 Kings 1 and 4. It says, I'm going to jump down actually. This is 2 Kings 1 and 9. Then the king, right, and this was a king of Israel, sent unto him a captain of 50 with his 50. So the king was sick, and he sent his messengers to go inquire of a false god, right, an idol. And the Lord had Elijah meet his messengers and send them back to the king. And the king sent his small army after Elijah. It says, verse 9 again, then the king sent unto him a captain of 50 with his 50. So the king sent a captain of 50, as it said, with his army of 50 men. And he went up to him, and behold, he sat on the top of a hill. And he spake unto him, thou man of God, the king hath said, come down. And Elijah answered and said unto the captain of 50, if I be a man of the Most High, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him and his 50. So through the power of the Lord, Elijah sent down that fire upon that small army and killed them. Right? This is the type of things that took place when when men came after the Lord's prophets. I'm gonna grab this precept real quick. This is 1 Chronicles 16 and 22 saying, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. So the Lord don't play about his servants. Right? As the big bro Yeshai, he did a lesson previously on that. Right? The Lord don't play about his servants. And this is the type of things that he'll do for them. He said he sent fire down from heaven. And this didn't only happen once. I'm going to keep reading. Verse 11. And again also he sent unto him another captain of 50 with his 50. And he answered and said unto him, O man of God, thus hath the king said, come down quickly. And Elijah answered and said unto them, if I be a man of the Most High, let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And the fire came down from heaven and consumed him and his 50. And he sent again a captain of the third 50 with his 50. So he sent three different small armies after Elijah. And Elijah, through the power of the Lord, smote those first two. Again, this is the power that we're dealing with. This is the things that the Lord is able to allow his servants to do. This is a light thing for the Lord. It says, and he sent again. It says, anything too hard for the Lord? It says, and he sent again a captain of the third 50 with his 50. And the third captain of 50 went up and came and fell on his knees before Elijah and besought him and said unto him, O man of God, I pray thee, let my life and the life of these 50 thy servants be precious in thy sight. So this third group came and was asking for mercy. And this is, again, the type of power that we're dealing with. And Esau might have his power on the left-hand side. He might have his guns. He might have his, he got different, all types of weapons, right? In Genesis, it spoke about how Esau was blessed with the sword. All right, so he has all types of weapons. He weaponizes everything. But the power that we dealing with, the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is a completely different class than what Esau got. It's not even a comparison. It's reminding me of what took place in Egypt. All right, I'm going to grab that account real quick. This is Exodus 7 and 10. 7 and 8, and Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, Take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did as Yahweh had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. And Pharaoh also called the wise men of sorcerers. Now the magician, it says, Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. So the Lord had this miracle be performed through Moses and Aaron. He turned his rod into a serpent. And the Egyptians could do the same thing. But I'm going to keep reading. Verse 12, For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods. So the Lord's power, this showed that the Lord's power was stronger than Pharaoh's. And it's the same today, right? Esau Edom going to come down having great wrath because he knows that he had but a short time. Like it speaks about in Revelations 12, right? It says the devil, right? Which we know that the devil works through this, the devil works through Esau Edom here on earth. Right, it says he who's coming is after the working of Satan. But again, the devil's going to come down having great wrath because he knows that he had but a short time. And he's going to bring forth all of the weapons that he has, all the so-called power that he has. But it's not going to be able to hold a candle against what the Lord got. The Spirit had the big bro your call mentioned to watch a movie called Code 8. Right, and it showed the different technology that Esau wants to roll out, right? He got his robots, he got his drones, right? And AI, he got his AI, so on and so forth. But what the Lord gonna come with, he's going to magnify himself, right? Just like he did in Egypt, and his power is going to outshine everything that Esau got, right? And it's cold because that movie that he suggested, we see these things rolling out right now, right? I seen an article this today, speaking about the drones that they're gonna start having police in certain areas, right? And you got your different videos concerning these different robots and their advances, right? That's just going into Esau's power. But again, it's not gonna be able to do nothing against what the Lord got, because the Lord is a true power. There's a precept that just came to mind. Lord will, I can remember it. I'll just grab this one in the meantime. Or matter of fact, I'm going to finish this 2 Kings 1. It says, Behold, 2 Kings 1 and 14, Behold, there came, verse 15. It says, And the angel of Yahweh said unto Elijah, Go down with him, be not afraid of him. And he arose and went down with him unto the king. Excuse me. So that's just a story showing the power of the Lord, how he had that fire come down from heaven. And this is the type of power that we're going to have to receive today, because we're going to need divine intervention to get out of the situations we're going to be put in. right? Daniel 12 speaks about that time that's going to come upon the earth like no other, right? I'm going to grab this. The enemy's about to come in like a flood. But scriptures speak about how the Lord shall give every needful thing in due season. So the Lord going to protect his servants just like he did back then. This is Isaiah 59 and verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. So the Lord going to fight on our behalf. We just have to keep walking and doing those things that's pleasing in the sight, walking in that fear and that faith. And the Lord's going to protect us. Give us what we need in the times when we need it. And we can expect great things because we're coming into great perilous times. So we're going to need great deliverances. This is Romans 8 and 31. What shall we then say to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be against us? So nothing can come up against the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Whoever the Lord's trying to save, he's going to be able to save. And there's nothing that can stop that. I'm going to grab another account. This is 2 Kings. Six. And I'm going to cue this precept up also. This is the one that popped in my mind earlier. This is 2 Kings 6. And I'm going to start at verse 14. Therefore sent he thither horses, right? And this he is speaking about the Syrian king, right? And he sent troops after Elisha, right? Elijah's basically understudy, right? And he received a portion of Elijah's spirit, and he was able to do very great things like Elijah. And again, this is the power that we're going to see in these times that we're coming into. It says, verse 14, therefore sent he, right, that king again, thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. Right, and this was a city that Elisha was in and his servant. Right, because Elisha was basically giving away his secrets to Israel so that Israel would have the advantage against them in war. If you read up in the chapter. But the king was like, he wanted to send for Elisha because he was told that Elisha was telling everything that he was saying in his bedchambers, telling everything that he was saying in secret. He thought that he had spies among him. But no, it's just the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that was exposing him. Just like the prophets are exposing Esau, Edom today. Right? And they're going to come down. But again, that standard is going to be lifted, like it said in that Isaiah. This is 2 Kings 6 and 14. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. So he sent that army into Elisha. And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen, right, and it said the man of the Most High again, right, this is talking about Elisha. Right, and it said the same thing about Elijah. He was a man of the Most High. So if we serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and doing those things and being obedient, doing those things that's pleasing in his eyes, fearing him, walking in the faith, right, we're men of the Lord. And the Lord going to do these same things for us. We have to stay faithful. It says, and when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? Right? His servant was like, What shall we do? And he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Yahweh, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And Yahweh opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Right? And these chariots that they had around them, right? The chariots that Elisha and his servant had around him was the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? The holy angels protecting them. And this is the same type of protection and power that's going to be with us in these times. That's going to be with the elect. That's going to be with the Lord's chosen. Those that are walking in that faith and that fear. It says, And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto Yahweh and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. All right, so Elisha had that army get smote with blindness, as it just said. And Elisha said unto them, This is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria. So he led them into their enemy territory, into northern Israel. And it came to pass when they were come into Samaria that Elisha said, Yahweh, open the eyes of these men, that they may see. And Yahweh opened their eyes, and they saw and beheld, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. And the king of Israel said unto Elisha, when he saw them, My father, shall I smite them? Shall I smite them? And he answered, Thou shalt not smite them. Wouldest thou smite those whom thou hast taken captive with thy sword and with thy bow? Set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their master. So just showing the power that was with Elisha, right? The power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, right? The same power that's going to be with us. As long as we walk in that poor heart, contrite spirit, and trembling at the words of the Lord. Right? You got that humble mentality. You broken in your heart for your sins. And you fear in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai in his words. And the Lord speaks through his men, as he did since the world began, like it speaks about in Luke 1:70. So this is great power, and they couldn't do anything against the Lord and his power in this time, or in that time, and they can't. And it's the same with this time. The Lord gonna show out. But I'm gonna grab this Isaiah 31:3. Now the Egyptians are men, right? Esau Edom is just a man. Pharaoh was just a man, and he couldn't do anything against the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the one that gave breath to all men. It says, Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. Right? We can apply that to today. Esau Edom and his armies, his Humvees and his different vehicles, they not spirit. These things are made by men. And they can't hold a candle against what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai got. And they said it themselves. They got a newscast that I go back to frequently because it's a heavy clip, but it's going into. They look like Edomites. These Edomite looking men were going into the chariots, which what the world calls UFOs and UAPs, and they were speaking about how the technology on them chariots was 1,000 times more advanced than anything that we have today, or anything that he has today. So the Lord got the true power. And we're not to fear Esau, Edom, or the rest of these nations. What does that precept say? I got one popping in my head. I'm not sure where it's at. The Spirit might lead me to it. Basically, it was just going into us not we shouldn't fear man that should die. Right? These men is they just men. But we with the power, we with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Again, if the Lord be with us, who can be against us? But Isaiah 31:3 again, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. All right, so all our enemies is gonna go. And it don't matter what type of power they have. Don't matter how many troops they come at us with. I'm gonna grab this real quick. And this First Maccabees 3 and this 13th verse is going into a mighty victory that the Lord gave us. But I'm just gonna grab this precept out of it. This is First Maccabees 3:18. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 16. This is First Maccabees 3:14. It says, he said, I will get me a name and honor in the kingdom, for I will go and fight with Judas and them that are with him, who despise the king's commandment. So these heathens was coming up against the Lord's men again. So he made him ready to go up, and there went with him a mighty host. So he had a mighty host of the ungodly to help him, and to be avenged of the children of Israel. And when he came near to the going up of Beth Horon, Judas went forth to meet him with a small company, who, when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able to, being so few, to fight against so great a multitude and so strong, seeing we are ready to faint with fasting all this day? So Judas' army was small. They was tired because they were fasting. And they had that great army coming up against them. And it's the same thing like the account with Elisha and his servant. His servant was like, what shall we do? It's the same thing that they're saying. It was just Elisha and his servant going up against the army. And it's the same with this situation. It was a small company against a great army. All right, it was few against the many. But that don't matter to you how Ba'Shem Yahushai is about to go into. It says, verse 18, unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of a few. Right? Same with Elijah. When that 50 came up, that 150 men came up against him, and he was just him by himself, that wasn't nothing for the Lord to deliver Elijah out of that situation. It's reminding me of Samson. He killed 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of an ass, the jawbone of a donkey. It's nothing for the Lord to do these things. How much more in these times where the Lord's about to make a great name, to exalt his name very greatly. Scriptures speak about the end where much glory doth abide. The Lord's about to glorify himself. So we're going to be seeing glorious things, glorious miracles from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai in these times. It says, First Maccabees 3:18, unto whom Judas answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of a few. And with the God of heaven, it is all one, to deliver with a great multitude or small. So it's all the same for the Lord. It don't matter the numbers. It don't matter the ratio or whatever. Verse 19, for the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength cometh from heaven. And that's in all situations. Every single situation. It's reminding me of when Yahweh Shai, he was he told I forget who he told, I believe it was Pilate. He's like, you think you got matter of fact, I'm gonna grab it real quick. I'll grab it after this. Matter of fact, I'll grab it now since the Spirit got me thinking about it. This is I know I wrote it. Matthew 26. And I was wrong about Pilate, but this is Matthew 26 and 51. I'll start at 50. He says, and Yahweh Shai said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? And this was Yahweh Shai speaking to Judas when he had gave him up, and the Romans was coming in to get him. Then came they and laid hands on Yahweh Shai and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Yahweh Shai stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. All right, so it was Peter. You can read it in a different account. It specifies who it was. He smote off an ear. He cut off the ear of one of them army men. Then Yahweh Shai said unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be? So Yahweh Shai was like telling Peter to calm down. You don't think that the Lord can send, I forget how much a legion is, but I know it's a lot. I'm going to look it up real quick. Forget exactly how much. It says a legion, a body of soldiers whose number different from time to... In the time of Augustus seems to have consisted of 6,826 men, i.e. 6,100 foot soldiers and 726 horsemen. So Yahweh Shai was like, you don't think that the Lord can send a legion of angels to come defend me right now? All right, and one angel can take out this whole earth. All right, and I believe, I forget where it's at. I believe it's Kings, if I'm not mistaken, one of the kings. But it spoke about during the time of Hezekiah when the Lord sent one angel and he killed 185,000 men in one night. I believe they was Syrians. Don't quote me. And the army of Israel didn't even have to lift up a sword. And Yahweh Shai is saying right here, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? All right, so this is the type of power that we're dealing with. It says that the angel of the Lord encampeth around about them that fear him in the book of Psalms. So we got this same protection. Yahweh Shai didn't have that take place then because it didn't go along with what the will of the Lord. Right, there was things that needed to be fulfilled. Yahweh Shai going up on that cross. But this is the type of power that we're dealing with. This is 1 Maccabees 3. Scriptures speak about how the angels is great in strength. But 1 Maccabees 3 and 19 again, for victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength cometh from heaven. They come against us in much pride and iniquity to destroy us, and our wives and our children, and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and for our laws. Wherefore the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be not afraid of them. And the same with us for these times. We ought not to be afraid of these things that's about to take place in the earth. Our flesh might tweak a little bit. Like we might feel certain things here and there, but we got to always come back to reason. Reason according to these precepts. Have faith in these scriptures. Verse 23, now as soon as he had left off speaking, he leapt suddenly upon them, and so Saron and his host was overthrown before him. So that few men that was fasting overtook that great army through the power of the Lord. Strength coming from heaven. So we can depend on Yahweh Shem Yahushua in these times that we coming into. But I just wanted to grab them different precepts, just showing the power of the Lord. Right? And there's many examples throughout the scriptures. That's why we need to get these things within us so that we can remember them in our time of trouble, and it'll boost our faith, boost our confidence. It says again, as we always quote Romans 15:4. The things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. But those are the only precepts I wanted to grab. Lord, bro, this video is edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Chakodash. Again, I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and say shalom to the hopeful elect that they're pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, striving their best to do what's right in the eyes of the Lord.